Hello, Bidemi. Good morning. Bro David, good morning. Ogene, good morning. Ogene Oshukwu, Jide Craig, Rochelle White, Folashade Kikelomo Shaw Smith, Adeleke Adeniyi, Adeola Disu, Ushi Amadi, Adeleke, Kike Adetiba. I'm already smiling and laughing about today's message. Emmy Bobby, Gift Amos, Nkem Dike, Fumi Jaboda, Bishop Abel Kongu, Yomi Jegede, Adeleke Olayiwola, Shiwe Ananaba, Omonike, Adeleye Olayiwola, Paul Oriade, Afolabi Victor, Maria Olaleye. Now, you guys, let's start on time. Today is going to be hot. Today is going to be today is going to be special. So what African men want their wives to know? Let's go share the link right now. Let's go share the link. And like yesterday, we gave you a link from Bishop Richard Eberiga. That Bishop Richard Eberiga is the bishop from America that I said designed the card, the invitation card that I told you to go and download. So we are going to have the link again today, and all of us can go and download those invitations to watch our programs. So this bishop took it upon himself to design that and to, give the idea so that all of us could actually go and print them out or, copy them and then distribute to. Yeah, that's the link. That's the link right there from my name, under my name. You see the link to the card, so you can go there and click on them 7 times. Click on them. You'll be able to download them. Now download as many, not just 7. Download as many times as you want, or you can print them and just distribute them. It has the time so that people could watch the program. Well, let's share the link also right now. If you have not shared the link, let's quickly go and share the link. Look under the video, you'll see the share button. Let's go and share the link. And thank you, Adeola Disu, for helping us perfect the design of that card. Adeola Disu is doing a lot of great job. She's the one doing all the advertisement for the program, and she's not taking any money for it. Thank you so much. So now, let's quickly go and share the link. Once you finish sharing the link, we'll be ready to start with the teaching. What African men want to tell their wives. Even if you are not African, this will help you. You will laugh your shoes out, your socks out. Okay, if you have finished sharing, let's go. I will try and be giving you 3 to 4 or maybe 5 every day. 3, maybe at least let me commit to 3 points. I will give you 3 points every day. And if I have more time, I will give you more than 3 points. So what is it that African men really want to talk to their wives about? Number 1, Africa's situation is different. and especially for those people who live there in Africa. So what is it, number one, maybe not number one, but one of the most important things that African men would like to tell their wives is that, please, treat my family, extended family, with honor, respect, and dignity. Do everything to respect my family. And I think I can reason with them on this one because, African culture, you just have to recognize the culture you are coming from. And African culture is a culture that is based on extended family. In Africa, people believe that it takes a village to raise a child. So every one of us has been raised up, not just by our father and mother alone. All of us have been raised up by our uncles, sisters, nieces, and all kind of relatives. So because of that, and because of the culture as well, and because of the culture, we have extended family, and there is just nowhere you can hide from that. There is nowhere to run to. We are people of extended family. And, if you are not honorable in Africa, if your wife would not respect your family members, if your extended family, your relatives would think that your wife is rude, that will be one of the very, 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 very crazy things, the craziest thing that could happen. So no wife, no husband wants the wife to be rude towards the relatives. So the husband wants you to, as a wife, to be aware of that and to, pay attention to the relatives. And they want you to be hospitable to them. They want you to treat them with honor like you would treat your own parents. They want you to welcome them. And and you all know, if you're an African, you all know here that an area of conflict in family and in wives and relatives situation in Africa is that some relatives could actually come knocking without any warning, without calling or without knowing. Maybe now it's better because now everybody has telephone. But, it used to be like that some relatives might just be passing by or coming to town, and without you knowing ahead of time, the person just appears in the home, and the daughter-in-laws the wives normally find this to be not very funny, and the wives don't enjoy it and they complain, and these are the kind of situations whereby your husband is asking for or would like to ask for understanding that please receive my relatives, even if they do horrible things like that, like showing up at your doorstep without a prior warning. Even if they do something as bad as that, you receive them first, and once you finish receiving them, we will deal with it later. Let them go. Let's just treat them well, meet them, and then you will be able to. We will settle it among ourselves later on. But please don't disgrace me. Go ahead and receive them. Treat them well as if nothing has happened, as if that's the way things are supposed to be. And so that is one big problem in Africa. And for a son of their fathers, or for a man in Africa, if you don't receive their relatives, it's like you are cutting them off. It's like you are cutting them off from their roots. And any family that the wife has not received the relatives, that man cannot be in a good relationship with his relatives. It's just like he's losing all of them. There is just no way he can have good relationship with his siblings anymore. So if you don't want him to lose his relationship with all his brothers and sisters and the people he has grown up with, to cut off his root, if you don't want him to cut off his root, you need to honor his not just his, when I talk of relatives, I'm talking about his parents. African man wants you to treat his mother, especially his mother, with honor, with respect. African man wants you to always welcome his mother, treat her with respect, call her mother, give her gifts, treat her the way you would treat your own mother. And maybe if he has a father also, the same thing with the father. Treat the father with honor and dignity also. And but in Africa, one very interesting thing is this, and it's a psychological aspect of this same topic of receiving his family and relatives very well. Sometimes in Africa, it is not just about you receiving them or not receiving them, but sometimes it is also important how warmly you receive them. So let's say the junior brothers of your brother has come, or the seniors or the junior sisters or junior brothers have come to town, and maybe the parents have come, or maybe the uncles or relatives or some brothers have come. To the husband, the honor it gives the husband some respect and recognition how warmly you receive them, how warmly you receive those relatives. It's not just that you receive them, but how warmly it all matters how warmly you receive those family members. And the husband, when you receive his relatives warmly, his relatives will later praise him and say that, oh, you have a good wife. Oh, your wife is so accommodating. She's so kind. She's so good. And she's so nice. And they will all fall in love with that wife. And they will all appreciate that wife. And at least from my place where I come from, they will appreciate such wives and celebrate such wives. And what I mean by that, how you receive, that matters is that when, for example, they are coming and you are in the house, in Africa, you as a wife, it's not expected that you just stay in your bedroom and then they come in by themselves carrying their bags. They expect you as a wife. Now, for me personally, I will not do this. I'm not in our church here. Anybody that has been to our church here will attest to this. That I don't like women to be carrying bags, and so I don't welcome this idea. But in Africa, they expect the housewife, the wife, to go outside and meet those relatives that are coming, and maybe even help them take their bags, meet them, greet them at the door. That's the way everything happens in Africa. You make some noise, welcome them, be jovial about it, laugh, kneel down, welcome them, and serve them food, ask them what they would like to eat, begin to go and cook immediately. All that atmosphere, all that celebration and warmth and lively reception and joy, all that screaming of joy, of happiness, all that matters in Africa. And when that's kind of welcoming, when you are jovial, when you are laughing, when you are happy to see them, and when you welcome them warmly. If you welcome them and you are not happy and you are not laughing and you are not rejoicing, that doesn't count so much. In fact, it might even count against you. The mother of your husband or whatever relative came might even go and complain to the other relatives that you welcome them not warmly. So what I'm saying now is nothing new. I think every African knows this anyway. So this is now, what is my own opinion? I think when it comes to especially your direct relatives like your mom, your dad, if the husband has brothers and sisters, to the immediate family members, brothers and sisters, especially mother and father, I think that is very understandable. And personally, I think that it is proper to take care of especially the mother and the father of your husband if they are still alive, because and the reason is because if not because of this, your mother and your father-in-law and your mother-in-law, there will be no husband for you. So we should always have to consider that God gave you your husband through these people. So I think it is legitimate that you honor the parents as well, and the place it comes from, and the people that brought him up. And because if they had not brought him up, there will be no man for you to fall in love with. And that's on one hand. On the other hand, there is just no way to escape that he knew them before he knew you. He knew them and he built relationship with them before you came on the stage. So he cannot just refuse. He cannot just neglect or leave out the relationship he had built before you came with his family members just because he married. He cannot neglect or discard his family members just because he married you. And maybe because even if not for those family members, maybe he wouldn't have even made it to where he is now and where you are able to marry him. So family members is one big thing that is a need in the African culture that might not be such a big need in the European culture, but in the African culture is a big need. So because because of that, that's a big question for the African man. Monica said that is true. Every African man love their relatives even more than their wives. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say more than their wives, but just for you to know, yeah, they have respect. She said, Pastor Sunday, it still happens that the in-laws come without announcing prior to arrival. Even if you are not around, they will wait at the gate. Gladys says, I reject such women in my son's life in Jesus' name. Shinwe says, in Africa, once you marry into a family, you marry them all. Yeah. So that is why I'm saying this. I need to do a series on African women and what African men want their wives to know. Sylvia Oko said, this is very bad of African men. They please their relatives, thereby displeasing their wives, and some of their relatives doesn't make things easy for the wives. That is true, but I think the wives also need to be at least somehow considerate, and try to understand where the men are coming from. Yetunde says, Pastor, there is nothing wrong in taking the bag of your elderly mother-in-law, but everybody else has to carry their own. Okay. Olukayode said, a good wife gets sure and extra security from the family when she is nice to them. Yeah. She will surely receive support when unpleasant matters arise between her and the husband. That is the African marriage sense. You see? Men are supporting my idea now. Monica said, most African men want their wives to behave like slaves. If she is in the kitchen, they will be watching TV in the living room. Okay, we addressed that already. Okay, Ushi Amadi said, this is true, sir. Treating your husband's relative warmly here in Africa makes you accepted by the family. It gives joy to the man. Some women treat their own people warmly but don't do the same for their husband's relatives. Shioma said, Pastor, please, since we have gone into this African men area, please address also the issue of men who put their family before their wives, who join forces with the family to suppress their wives, who allow the dictatorship of their family, extended family, to rule and run their homes. African men who cannot draw the boundaries between the home and the family. All right. Now, I cannot do that now. I'm sorry, Shioma, because this week, I committed to talking to the girls, to the ladies only. I'm not I'm not teaching the men this week. I'm teaching the women. So I'm sorry. Maybe we have to talk about we have to talk to African men separately or differently. But I think some of the things I've already covered also naturally will give explanation. Will give answer to that. But this week I'm only talking to This week is the men's week. The men are the ones that are receiving this week. So I'm only talking to the women this week about what men want to tell them. So if I turn the table on them again now, it will not be fair. Gladys Nwosu said, no matter what your mother-in-law did to you, as long as you love your husband, you have to be grateful to her for giving birth to such a man. Because if not, for her, there will be no joy in your life. I should remember that. Well, yes. Abo said, they said, even in it, the Italians have the same culture like Africa. They carry their in-laws along. So Italy also has extended family situation. Sylvia says, some mother-in-laws make things very difficult for their daughter-in-laws. No matter how you try to please them, they don't even appreciate anything you do for their poking their nose everywhere. Please address this. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to address this now. I am addressing the women. For the men, I'm talking for the men this time. So it's not my belief, but I'm just telling you what the men would like to tell their wives. So this week, I'm only telling the ladies what the men want to tell their wives. So if you want me to address the men, African men separately, that's another request. But now I'm going to be talking to you about what the men want to tell their wives. Kelepi Evans, Papa, what of those wicked in-laws? No matter what you do for them, still they won't be happy. But I thank God for my own parents-in-law, my parents' wife, and you hardly know she is a wife only if you are told. She's a wife to their son. And another thing, Pastor, some women are not brought up in good family who practice such belief of taking care of their in-law, because it's what you see your parents do that you are going to do without being told. Nellie Brown say, yeah, Pastor, keep teaching us. We want to know as much as we can about what men want this week. Okay, let's just keep on talking. Next thing that the man wants from you. Next thing that the African man wants to tell. The next thing that the African man wants to tell the wife. Okay. The next thing that African man wants to tell the wife is, I know I'm not perfect. The next thing that African man wants to tell the wife is, I know I'm not perfect, but that does not give you a reason to disrespect me. So this is one thing the African man wants to tell the wife. I know I'm not perfect, but that is not an excuse. That's not a reason for you to disrespect me. Even though I'm not perfect, you still need to respect me. That is, I don't know how far that is with the ladies. I'm sure nobody is perfect, right? So this is what African men want to tell their wives. That, yes, I'm not perfect. Yes, maybe you are seeing some of my weaknesses. Yes, maybe you see that I failed in some areas, but keep my respect up there. Keep my respect up there. Keep my honor there. And you still, you still, that does not give you a reason to talk down on me. That does not give you an excuse to look down on me. And that does not give you an excuse to disrespect me. So even though I'm not perfect, I know I have mistakes. I know I have issues. Help me with the issues. Talk to me about it, but talk to me with honor. Talk to me with respect. And the thing is, if you talk to them without respect, and you just talk to them anyhow, that makes them even more wicked, and that makes them to be angry, and that makes them to turn their back at you. So the men, African men, wants to be the man on top all the time. African men wants to be respected no matter what, even if it's not perfect, even if he's not doing some things well, he still wants the respect from his wife or from his spouse, and he wants the wife to keep on respecting him, to keep on honoring him, and to keep on putting him to where he belongs, to keep him in that place for the things he has done wrong or his fault and weaknesses not to be the reason for him to be looked down on and pulled down from where he is. Shigo said, I am not perfect, but I'm still the ogre, I'm still the boss. Well, maybe. Yesterday said, the imperfect big boss, huh? Well, maybe. Olamide Omotolani said, this is so annoying. Well, maybe. Yes, Nikki is saying, what about those of us who are not married to African men? Does it apply to us also? I think it does to a large extent, but I already gave a lot of points for general men, but these are more things that I think are specific and more peculiar to the African men. So, but I think every man will appreciate this. I think every man will appreciate this too. So we are not perfect, but treat us with respect. And if you see something that we have done wrong or something, yes, you can say it, but let the respect and the honor be there still. Next point that African man the next thing that African man wants to tell the wife is similar to what I just said now. Okay, Omonika said, Pastor Sunday, most African men are so proud. They have too much ego. Well, that's the thing I want to talk about next, which is very similar to what I just said before. African men, not African men, are a product of the African culture. And the African culture is a monarchical kind of monarchy. It's a monarchy kind of culture. It's a culture where there are kings. Almost every tribe has a king or a chief. And so the culture itself, points to the fact that men, and most of the monarchies are men in Africa. Most of the kings are men. And men, most of the boys who are growing up, they are used to seeing kings celebrated. They are used to seeing kings as given wide acceptance, celebrated, and even worshipped in some cases. So it has now become a part of the African culture that a man must be treated as a king. So that is my next point. The African man wants not just respect, the African man wants to be treated like a king. One thing that an African husband wants to tell the wife is, treat me, make me feel important. I know that is strange and wild and kind of strange for even me now. I'm saying it with my mouth, but it's still very strange to me a little bit. Even though I'm African, but it's already kind of not palatable in my mouth again. But I must tell you, we have agreed from the beginning that I am just telling you everything that you need to know. You need to know what African men are thinking, and I'm telling you. So, it's not my position, but if you are married to an African man, and especially if those people who are still living in Africa, these are things that are important to them. African man wants to be treated like he sees people treated around him. He wants to feel important, and he wants to be treated like a king. So African man wants to say, please make me feel important. I need to feel important. It doesn't matter if he's working or he's not working. It doesn't matter if he has anything or he doesn't have anything. He, as a man, as a husband, he wants to feel important. And he wants his wife especially to be the one treating him with importance and honor and dignity, and to actually relate to him as a king. To some extent, in some cultures, like in my culture, and maybe not just my culture, in Yoruba culture. Now, I'm talking now about typical African man now. What I'm going to say now, but I think I've seen Dr. Sufficient do this one time also. So maybe it's not just in Nigeria, because she's not from Yoruba. Maybe it's not just Yoruba culture. Maybe it's all African culture everywhere, or maybe it's Nigeria everywhere. Some men expect their wives to treat them like a king, really, especially when she's bringing food. Like in our culture, when a wife is bringing food to the table or bringing water to the husband, I don't even know how to say this, but I'm going to try my best and say it. But this is not my belief, but this, we are talking about what African men want from their wives. So some African men expect their wives to actually show some honor when she's bringing the food, either by kneeling down or bowing down, or by saying sir, or by responding to him by saying sir, or by kneeling down or bowing down, or show some kind of honor, which I don't think more sophisticated African men would do that or will ask for that, but they want to be treated as king. Maybe not go to that extent, but men still want to be treated as kings. African men still want to be treated as kings. But to their credit, though, to the credit of the African men, when you treat them as a king, they really come for you and try to treat you as a queen as well. They try to treat you well, and they try to, but the way they treat you as a queen is the way they will treat you like a king, like a queen, is by buying you stuff and making sure that you have everything you need. Although these days, what women might need might not be things or money or things like that. I think what most African women need now is more of love, honor, respect, rather than money. But the African men, they try to give you everything you need when you treat them right, and to supply your needs, to give you money and things like that. But I still have to mention it. Okay, somebody said this is old days Africa of buying down or saying, sir, sir. Yep. Just mention it. I just have to mention it. Next point. Next thing that the African man or African husband wants to tell his wife is an African. This is totally against what I teach. I teach the opposite. But for the African man expects the wife to be the first one to apologize when anything is wrong. He wants her to be the first one to say, I'm sorry. So the African man wants the woman to be the one to apologize first and to say she's sorry. And to do that with honor and respect as well. Personally, I say what I teach is that the man should be the first one to apologize because he's the head of the family. But African man will really appreciate it if it is the wife that comes to apologize, so to say I'm sorry. And in some cases, it's not good enough to just come to your husband and say I'm sorry. In some cases, the husband expects the wife to bow down or to kneel down while she's apologizing. He expects her to kneel down and to apologize while she's apologizing. To kneel down while she's apologizing. These are some of the things that culture dictates, and these are some areas where the culture is different, and culture is still influencing a lot of African men. Now, why am I saying this thing? Maybe I shouldn't even mention them. I don't know. Maybe I should mention them or not. I think I didn't even want to mention what the men wanted from their wives, because I know that most men have not performed their own duty or their own function. But I've been convinced by several women saying the women would still like to know anyway. I should still go ahead and tell them what the men are thinking. Maria Olaleye says, Maria is crying and says, so she needs to roll on the floor? No, I just can't. I can't do that. Well, I'm just telling you what some men will like I said, the African man is a monarchical system of culture where the men want to be treated like kings. That's just the African situation. But I'm not saying I'm agreeing with all these things, or that is the way they are supposed to be as per me. But you must be aware of who you are married to, and if you want peace in your family, if you want your marriage to be successful, sometimes you just need to know these things and know how to respond to them. Okay, Jide says, it is still good to mention them, sir. We learn all the time. Okay, so I will continue then. Because I'm seeing that the women are not happy today. The ladies are not happy. Okay, Shioma is saying, my submission on this topic is that there should be nothing like African man. Man should be man and not African. We should pattern our lives after God and not culture. Nobody should marry any man with African man mentality. It's not of God. Very good. Very good. Okay, Beate Mula is saying, what is respect? For me, is taking someone serious and be honest and truthful to a person. Why do these people request all these humiliating behaviors? Well, that is the European approach to that. And Ojekwa Israel say, my advice to people is always to soak themselves in God so much. If they do, all these cultural characteristics will naturally disappear. We are kingdom citizens. Yeah, that is agreeing with Shioma. Beate says, a monarch has dignity by himself, not behaving anyhow and just request to be honored. Okay. I hope should I continue giving these points, or is not necessary? I can't see your answers. Should I continue, or I should just stop now already? You had enough. Yesterday say I should go on. Elizabeth say continue. Gladys say go on. Jide is writing in big letter. Continue, sir. Nellie Brown says some of these things are hard to hear, but they can be the difference between happiness and sadness in marriage and even divorce. Like you said, we need to know the men we are marrying. So please continue. Now you marry Abo, not baby. Okay, Fumi Jeboda said we're here to learn, so continue. All right, so Nelly said, Pastor, when it was the turn of the men, you didn't stop halfway. So please continue. Okay, I'm going to continue then. So what are the other things African men want from their wives? Now, this is also another thing that I don't believe in, that I even preach against, right? But, like, do you ladies want to know? Then I'm going to let you know. You want to know? I'm going to let you know. The next point, the next thing that the African husband wants to tell the wife is that, I don't know what they call each other there. Is it honey they call each other, or, anyway. The next thing the African man wants to tell the wife is, please go and lose weight, or please stop eating so much. Now, that is when I was teaching, if you heard me when I was teaching last week, I said it's not dignified of a husband to be sending the wife to gym. But you want to know what African men are thinking in their heart, and they might not be saying it, and some are even saying it. There are some who are saying it. There are some who are telling their wives to stop eating too much, or to go and lose weight. And, I just have to let you know. Maria Olaleye said, but that is mean. That is mean. Yes, I know that is mean, but even Kiro Jibadu is clapping. She is a girl, she is clapping. But Ugo Emeka is crying. So, but the African men want to tell their wives, please stop eating too much. Stop eating so much. Go and lose some weight. Okay, Beatty Mueller is saying, I thought African men love big women because it shows prosperity to them. Yes, but I think these ones who are saying go and lose weight are the modern African men. The modern African men, they still like the big woman, but not as big as, like they used to like before. They say lose weight when she's becoming too big. There are some African women that are really big, right? So I think that is in the case where they say don't eat too much or go and lose weight, but not like go and be slimmed down like a European woman. Of course, no. They don't like it to be totally slimmed down like a European woman, but they still say go lose weight. Unfortunately, they still say that. Richard Eberiga said, a man needs to learn to develop kingdom culture above the culture of his natural birthplace. Woman was hidden in the man by God. Therefore, it is man's responsibility to hide and cover their wives. Excellent. That's exactly what I believe. She was covered inside the man in Genesis. Yep, I believe so. But some people are going through. The reason why I decided to even though I believe that we should only be kingdom citizens, and we should only look at this thing from the kingdom mindset. But the reality of what we have right now is that so many families are facing challenges, and so many families are facing these issues. And that's why, we just, before we get to the Bible says that law is the guardian before the grace comes, so before Christ. So maybe this could help some families, maybe it could rescue some families. Olukayode says, just to voice out my thought, Pastor Sunday is raising this topic to help women who are currently married to African men, yes, or who will marry to them later on, yet to be born again. Or maybe they are born again, but there are some people who are born again, but they are still traditional, unfortunately, and have their minds and have not had their minds renewed. Yes, he made obvious that he is not in support of some of these expectations from African men. A wise woman will combine all available knowledge to be even a better wife. Well, that's what Olukayode thinks. Nkem Dike said, nothing wrong in losing weight, but is the manner in which it is said. Okay. Kelepi Evans says, I have a very big question which the women will love to ask, but let me ask on their behalf. After a wife or woman has done all that, why do the African men love to cheat? Because almost every day that I complain, I get as SMS call and email. That is another question, and you need to, Kelepi, you need to go and listen to my messages. Was it a month ago? I think, yeah, I've spoken a little bit about that, why men cheat and why men would like to cheat. So you need to go and listen to that topic. I think you just came in, but last month I addressed those questions. Yes, some people are saying it is not all the men that want their wives to lose weight. Yes, I know, not all the men, but there are some. There are some. I've had that a lot of times. In fact, I will not mention the person. There is a lady, one of our sisters, who told me the other day that, Pastor, you said you would not tell, that a man shouldn't tell the wife that she should go to the gym or go and lose weight. That is not right. But that, if you see some women the way they look, that, some women indeed really need to go and lose weight. And so that is even a woman saying that. But of course, this woman saying this, she's based in Ukraine, in Europe. So she might be having European understanding, but yeah. But now I know for sure that there are a lot of men that are now trying to tell their wives to go lose weight, even African men. Maybe these men are mainly based in Europe, but they, at least I've heard them saying, don't eat as much, just eat less, don't eat too much, so that might be, it might be a new trend, but actually it happens now. People say that. Now, let me give you another point that the African men complain about, which again is not something that I probably agree with, because I've told you already why this happens. But unfortunately, men in Africa, they have this one request. They have more requests to their wives. And let me read a few comments before I give you that one more point. Omonika said, Pastor Sunday, most African men are so selfish. They want their wives to lose weight, whereas most of the African men get bigger as soon as they get married. But a man cannot tell a man to lose weight. Oh, that's true. Doris says, I think it depends on what context the husband is telling the wife to lose weight. If it's regarding her health, then I think there is nothing wrong. Okay? Stella Nuhu said, but our African men now are looking at television and seeing models there. So maybe that's why they want to see people lose weight. Nellie Brown said, I would love my husband to tell me if he thinks I am gaining too much weight. I may not notice it or think it is not a big deal. But if it bothers him, I want to hear it. You taught us that men are visual beings. I need to look good and attractive to my man. Well, that's it. Okay. Now, the next point, the last point I want to give you today, what African men want to tell their wives is that stop causing me to be, stop causing us to be late to appointments and engagements. I know the reason why women are late, okay? And I've told you about that already. The difference between men and women, and why women always, why it takes women so long to dress, and why it's a big challenge for women to be ready on time. Now, but African men still want to tell their wives to learn to dress faster or to get ready on time. African men still want their wives to know that they don't like it when they are delaying them, and they don't like it when they are when it takes all the time for them to be dressed, and when they, because of the ladies, the man has to go late to his appointments or to his meetings. So the men, African men don't like it. African men still want to tell their wives that you better start dressing on time. If you need more time, start dressing on time. And start your dressing on time, start preparation on time. You don't have to take so long, and because of you I'm late. So African men are still embarrassed, and they don't like the fact that they are waiting for their wives to dress for so long, and that is taking them so long time to dress and to be ready for appointments, and they have to be waiting in the cars, and they have to be waiting for her, and they have to be giving explanations whenever they get to where they are going, and they have to be giving excuses and saying, oh, sorry, we are late, and everything like that. So African men really are not happy about this one. They are not happy about their wives coming late to meetings and causing them to be late. Maybe they are not, it's not a big deal for them that the woman is going late to her own meetings, but I think what bothers the man most is that because of her and because of her taking so much time, he too has to go late to his meetings. He too has to go late to his appointments. So African men are concerned and would like to tell their wives that, please stop causing me to go late to meetings. Start dressing on time, get ready on time. Because of you, we go late to these meetings. Oluwafumilayo Dina says, Pastor Sunday, African men should help the lady to get ready, to get things ready too, like help with the house chores, that is taking the lady's attention. Yeah, I believe it. I agree with you. Or he should get a maid for her, or get an assistant for her, or get some help for her so that she doesn't have to do all the other things she's doing in the house. But, today and this week, we are learning from, we are talking to the ladies, we are talking about the men. We want to talk to the ladies what the men want to know, what they want them to know. So I'm just sharing with you what men are thinking and what men are talking in their own circles among themselves. So just for you to know, Ugo Emeka said the best solution here is we drive in separate cars to the same destination. Men should help with the kids, at least to avoid lateness. Okay. Paul David said, I will stop being late, but please help me out or by being a provider or get me a maid. Yetunde said, that's not true, Pastor. Therefore, what I do is start getting ready like an hour before it gets up. It's so simple. Let's avoid confrontation and arguments. Okay? You can see that Yetunde is experienced. He's an experienced wife. Kelepi said, Papa, oh, you are calling me this Papa. Me, I know the answer, Papa. Oh. Just say Pastor. Pastor is okay for me. Just say Pastor. Pastor Sunday or something. Pastor. I don't like to answer Papa, really. Papa, as a sportsman, my wife knows she has to keep fit and dress nice. Nevertheless, we have some African men who love their women big. I mean very big. So it's the choice of the man to tell his wife how she wants him to look, and the woman too. You have the right to tell your husband how you want him to look at times. I want to dress as a sport person, but she loves me to dress smart. Okay, that was the previous point. All right, let's go ahead and share the link to this message. I hope, by the way, should I continue this message in the evening? What African men want from their wives? Or you had enough already? We don't want what African men want again. Or should I continue in the evening? I can still do one more. I can still continue the evening and give you, and finish the topic in the evening, finish. And then Friday, okay, the men are saying, yes, so continue. But I want to know, should I continue to give you a full list of what the African men want, or you are finished? The women are saying, no. Okay, Paul say continue. Continue. Okay. Yeah, because I'm not sure. Today, I'm not clear if it was a blessing that I gave this list from the African men, or it's not a blessing. Either it was necessary or it's not necessary. Now, so I don't even know what to think anymore. Bukola Adenuga said, this topic is boring. So if it's boring, it means I shouldn't continue in the evening. But other people are saying I should continue and complete it in the evening. Wow. So most people still want us to continue. That's what I'm getting from here. They want us to continue and finish in the evening. Shioma is saying, Pastor, end of discussion. Nothing like African men. Yes, but most people still want me to continue. Okay, I think I will just finish in the evening, and that will be the end of it. I'll come back to regular men rather than African men. Maya says, I think they will always want one thing or the other, so we just need to understand them. So, Shidima say, please continue, sir. Knowledge is power. Thank you, sir. Nkiro Jimadu said, ladies, whether your husband wants a big wife or not, remember, when you get a little older, you will be the one to suffer knee pains, heart issues. Be wise, ladies. Tayo Stevens says, we are here not only to hear pleasant messages, so we must hear this one too. Kelepi says, please continue. I will invite more of my female friends tonight who want to marry African men to know what they are getting into. Obi Ojimadu said, there is need to continue for the sake of both the man and the woman, okay? No stone should be left unturned. Even Obi said, no stone should be left unturned. No? But you tell me, these points that I mentioned today, are they so horrible, or what was the problem? What is causing the crisis? What is the problem? Is it that you don't know these things? Like I told you, it's not my opinion. Some of them are not my opinion, definitely. But I just needed to tell you what the men are saying among themselves. You see now, as progressive as Obi is, even Obi Ojibado is saying I should continue. And that it is good for both the men and the women. Even Obi says it's good for both the men and the women. You see, so most men, there is no single man that has said don't continue. There is no single man that has said don't continue. All the men are saying continue. Only the women are having a challenge. Yetunde said, but Dr. Adelaja, when you are dealing with the men, they didn't ask you to stop. Please continue, Joe. Nikki, even Nkiro Jimadu said, continue, sir. We need all the knowledge. Bosse Fire Jola, it's always a blessing to learn. Gift Amos says, this thing is reality that is happening already all over the place, and nobody ever talks about it. So thank you for bringing the knowledge, at least for raising the topic and talking about it, because this is where what people are experiencing anyway. Omonika said, Pastor Sunday, thanks so much for this teaching. African men are very demanding. You just have to be a strong woman to marry an African man. Paul Davis said to the woman married to African men, God bless you. No be small thing at all. Sandra said I should finish it up this evening. Okay. Bumi Oluwatosin said, please, sir, continue, because we suffer this mishap all the time anyway. BDB said, keep teaching us, sir. Knowledge makes us 2 times taller. We value you, sir. Yesterday said we must continue by force, by fire. So there are some women also who want us to continue. Ugo Emeka said, no matter how difficult it is to swallow, we are married to African men, so let's hear it. So it's difficult to swallow, eh? Okay. Maria said, okay, the men's requests are overwhelming, I think. Obi Ojimadu says, everybody should come out of their comfort zone. Everybody should come out of his or her comfort zone. These are not so horrible, sir. But this is causing the ladies to come out of comfort zone big time. Oh. But Lola Shoruke said, it is boring. Obi, Sister Lola said it is boring. Oh. And the ladies, most of the ladies are saying it is boring. But some other ladies are saying, Sylvia Oko, for example, knowledge is power. We really need this in order to learn. Gladys said, please continue. Omonike said, Pastor Sunday, you are such a superman. Despite the fact that you have lived in Europe for so long, you still know all these things. Please continue, sir. God bless you. Yeah, I know these things, and frankly speaking, I fight against them, most of them. But still, because I'm thinking about these families where people are already in this, people are going to meet these things. They are going to encounter with them one way or the other. I'm thinking of how to help everybody out there, even though I'm fighting against most of these things. Most of these things are what my teachings are directed against. But still, I think ladies should still know what the men are thinking. Fumi said it's all about balanced teaching anyway. Boss Fayajola said truth is bitter, but it still must be told. Nkiru says most African men and women are so ignorant of a lot of issues like this. They think it is normal. Nelly Brown says many things Pastor Sunday says are hard to take because they are so far from the norm. Please continue, sir. Change is hard but necessary. Tayo Stephen is saying, sir, why do you give us the option to decide what we want to hear? I don't get the question. Do you say, why did I decide? I think why I decided is already clear. Or do you, I don't get the question. You need to make that question clearer. Temito Kwejegede said, what about the regenerated African men? Christmas in us makes the difference. Men by myself is a product of Mr. Flesh. Until a man is born of the Spirit is a liability. African, American, European. Yep. Bukola Adenuga said, African man thing is a master and slave relationship. We don't want to learn how to be a slave. I agree. Henry says, Pastor, continue. Women don't like the truth. He's a man. That's why I say women don't like the truth. Odafe Anigoro said, good morning, Pastor. To a wise woman, this will definitely help her home. Gift Amon says, some of our women have sustained this injury for too long. At this healing, I can understand it's painful, but we still have to continue. Nkiru said, I know a lot of born-again men who still behave like that, so we still need to hear these things, I guess. Obi Ojimadu said, ladies, so Obi is now talking to the ladies directly. Ladies, accept our sincere apologies for being right in asking Pastor to continue. There is someone somewhere who really needs this. Richard Eberige said, this may be an opportunity for our sisters to learn and maybe help other women who are not on this platform. Let's all learn, even if it does not apply to you today. Please all, let Dr. Adelaja teach as long as he desires, to the benefit of the body of Christ. No offense intended, just a thought. That is Bishop Richard Eberige, so wise, so wise. Yesterday says, at the end of the day, most of us don't have to do all these things. We only do if we choose to. Yes, but it's good to hear them so as to make amends where necessary. Ignorance is not an excuse, people. Henry says, Pastor, please continue. Fumi says, this is like poll taking. More on the, like, it's like 80% want us to continue, 80 to 20. So the position is clear. Tayo said, why are you asking us if you should continue? Do we have the option of the type of truth you should teach us? We should hear the whole counsel of God. Okay, I understand now. Oluwafumilayo said, I think what he meant is that you should always teach as you are led. I believe God laid the topic in your heart that will benefit and shape our lives and relationship and make us good Christians. Yep. Yeah. Doris says, Pastor, this teaching is great because you don't really hear them even on couples retreat, and it gives pastors a little time of counseling. This type of issues, God bless, should be learned. God bless you. Temitope Jegede said, continue. Nelly said, you said in one of your teachings that you are not just teaching for now, but for generations to come. Ignorance is not bliss, and African men are not as evolved as many would like to think, especially on the topic of marriage. Well, Kola Odetola said, it is only the truth that is known that will totally set one free. Pastor Sunday, kindly progress with the timely message. Well, that's it then. I don't have any option. I have to continue. So I'll continue tonight. See you guys. See you everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.